Why does one person retire with $1,000 in the bank account and another person retires with 1 million or more? Is it intelligence? Is it the number of hours worked? Is it education? No. It's because the rich person thought bigger than the poor person. If the magic of thinking big accomplishes so much, why doesn't everyone think this way? Not everyone knows how to think big to cultivate success, but we will teach you how to do it based on David J. Schwartz's book, The Magic of Thinking Big. First, you need to believe that you will succeed, and then you will. Think that you can do it instead of this is impossible. Remind yourself that you are better than you think you are. You have probably accomplished things that you only dreamed of when you were younger. Successful people are not supermen or superwomen. They are just people who believed in their dreams and did the work needed to make them happen. Remember to always think big. Think about how it would feel to have $1 million in your account and then go and achieve it. Thinking big is the first step. The size of your success is determined by the size of your belief and the size of your thinking. Never be negative and put a low price tag on yourself. Next, cure yourself of excuse-itis, the failure disease. Excuse-itis comes in many forms, including health excuse-itis, intelligence excuse-itis, age excuse-itis, and luck excuse-itis. Instead of complaining about your health, refuse to talk about your ailment. Many times, when you talk about an illness like a cold, it gets worse. While it might get you sympathy in the short term, it won't get you the response that will propel your life farther. Don't overthink your issues into a hospital bed. Be grateful for your health as it is. Being grateful acts like a powerful vaccine against future ills. Instead of complaining about your level of intelligence, don't underestimate it. Remember that it counts more how you use your brain than it does how much brain power you have. Just because you might not be good at memorizing some facts, it doesn't mean that you can't use your brain in creative ways to develop ideas and find better ways of doing things. The right attitude will beat intelligence. In an interview, if you asked two candidates, how tall is the building you are in? And one of them answers that he studied this building in school and remembers that it is 20 meters tall, and the other takes a second to count the number of floors, multiplies it by the estimated height of each floor, and gives you the answer of 18 meters, which candidate would you hire? The one that memorized facts or the one that can think? For me, the ability to think is much more important in a team member than the ability to memorize. Next excuse to get rid of is the age excuse. Instead of thinking you are too old or too young to do something, think in positive ways. Calculate the productive time you have left. If you assume that a person becomes productive at 18 years old and stops being productive at 75, a 30-year-old person has only used 21% of their productive time. While you might not trust me when I tell you, at 30, you have plenty of time left to do amazing things. You can trust math. This can help turn your thinking from, I should have started years ago, to, I'm going to start now. My best years are ahead of me. Instead of thinking you have bad luck, accept the law of cause and effect. Everyone's luck can often be attributed to preparation, planning, success-driven thinking, and actions. Don't count on luck to give you the things you need. Develop the qualities that make you a winner. Instead of complaining that you gave up your career to have a family, realize that even with a family, you can have an amazing career. Don't let any excuses stop you from your big dreams. The more successful you are, the fewer excuses you have. If you want to do something, you find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. When you get rid of excuses, focus on building your confidence and destroying your fear. Fear is real and can destroy you. Oftentimes, our friends will give us the advice to just not think about it, as the fear is often just in our mind. It is, but simply realizing that the fear is just in our mind doesn't do anything to it. Action is the best cure for fear. Take action fast to prevent your fear from growing into big monsters. Think in terms of actions to do to reduce the negative impact of whatever it is you fear. Many people can cure their fear of drowning by taking the action to become good swimmers. Don't let fear paralyze and crush you. Take action to eliminate or lower your fear immediately. Don't fear people either. Instead, put people in perspective. This is why the advice to picture people naked and vulnerable is often given when someone is nervous during a speech. You put them in perspective by realizing they are human too. They are just like you and me. Oftentimes, we fear people that have gotten places where we want to be. We fear they will laugh at our attempt to get where they are, when in reality, they are human. They have made mistakes along the way. They have their own weaknesses and might even give you good advice on how to progress if you ask them. Practicing doing what your consciousness tells you is right will build your confidence, just like doing what is wrong will destroy it. If you have ever done something wrong, you might have started noticing that people are looking at you and feeling the guilt. It doesn't mean that more people are looking at you all of the sudden and that they know your secret. It simply means that your confidence is destroyed. Many criminals get caught not because of the evidence, but because they start acting guilty. Practice being confident and believing in yourself. Your mind is like a memory bank, and if you are thinking positively, it will provide you with all the positive things that happened in your life, like when you won the 5th grade math contest or when you got your dream job. But it works both ways. If you think negatively and look at your memories, it will bring up all the times you have failed. For example, when you failed your 1st grade spelling test or when you got your first heartbreak at 15 years old. Remember to think positively to get your brain to withdraw positive events from the memory and give you confidence. Say, I'm confident. Walk 25% faster, speak up, sit in the front row, and smile. 5 simple ways to think big. 1. Believe it can be done. The power of your mind is amazing. 2. Don't let tradition paralyze your mind. Just because something has been done a certain way for years, it doesn't mean that it should continue to be done that way. 3. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start now. The perfect moment is an illusion that doesn't exist. 4. Constantly ask yourself, how can I do better? How can you be better at work? How can you improve your relationship? 5. Stretch your mind with new ideas. Have you always been a logical engineer? Try doing something creative and artistic. Next, focus on cleaning up your environment through these simple steps. 1. Be conscious of what information your brain consumes. Just like a diet forms your body or how a car responds to the correct fuel you put in the tank, your mind input affects your brain. Be conscious of what you consume on TV, internet, phone, radio, or podcast. Everything affects you subconsciously. 2. Don't associate with people who think small. Jealous people want to see you stumble, but you should never give them this satisfaction. Surround yourself with people who believe in your dreams. Bonus tip: if you want to stop arguments whenever one is happening, ask yourself, is this something that an important person like myself would argue about and spend his time on? This will get rid of a lot of meaningless arguments and make you realize that you do not get anything out of arguing. 3. Get your advice from people who are where you want to be, as they already know how to get there. Don't fall prey to life coaches who promise to get you where you want to be if they have not achieved what you desire. What part of thinking big do you find the most helpful to escape the average life?